Hello students, welcome to the 13th session on chapter number 6, triangles. In this video, we'll be doing question number 6 to question number 10 of exercise 6.6. So starting with question number 6. Prove that the sum of the squares of the diagonals of a parallelogram is equal to sum of the squares of its sides. So we are given that ABCD is a parallelogram. So it is given that ABCD is a parallelogram, and we have to prove that sum of the squares of the diagonals, that is AC square plus BD square, AC square plus BD square is equal to sum of the squares of the sides, that is AB square plus BC square plus CD square plus DA square. So sum of the squares of the sides AB square, BC square, CD square, DA square will be equal to sum of the squares of the diagonals, which is AC square plus BD square. So for this we'll do the construction first. Construction में क्या करना है? We'll draw altitudes from A and B to the side CD. So we'll draw AX perpendicular to CD and BY perpendicular to DC produced. Proof. Now we need AC square and BD square in the left hand side. So we'll consider the triangle AXC to get this AC square. So in triangle AXC, AC square is AX square plus CX square by Pythagoras theorem. AC square is AX square plus CX square. Similarly, in triangle, to get this BD, so we'll consider triangle BYD. So in triangle BYD, we get BD square is BY square plus DY square. Okay, this is again by Pythagoras theorem. We'll add both the equation to get adding equation 1 and 2. So mark this as first equation and this as second equation. So when we add these two equations, we'll get AC square plus BD square is AX square plus CX square plus BY square plus DY square. Okay. Now we cannot change AX to any other side. This CX can be written as, CX is this side. The CX can be written as CD minus DX. If we subtract DX from CD, we'll get CX. So I'll write CX as CD minus DX whole square plus BY square will remain same. DY. In place of DY, I can write DC plus CY. So this will be DC plus CY whole square. Okay. So when we open these squares, we'll get CD square plus DX square minus 2 times CD into DX. So A minus B whole square is A square plus B square minus 2AB plus BY square plus, here it will be A plus B whole square. So A square plus B square plus 2AB, 2 times DC into CY. Now we will pair AX square plus DX square will form a pair of these two terms, AX square plus DX square. Okay. CD square will remain same. BY square and cy square, this by square and cy square. This will again form a pair, by square plus cy square. This cd square is left, and minus 2 times cd into dx, minus 2 times cd into dx plus 2 times dc into cy. Okay. This ax square plus dx square. So if we consider triangle AXD, ax square and dx square will form AD square by Pythagoras theorem. Ax square plus dx square will be equal to AD square plus. Next is CD square, this will remain same, plus CD square plus by square and cy square. By square plus cy square. This will be equal to bc square. This will be equal to bc square plus. Next term is cd square. So it will be plus cd square. Next we have minus 2 times cd into dx. Minus 2 times cd into dx plus 2 times dc into cy. dc into cy. Okay. So when we consider triangle AXD and BYC, mark this as equation number 3. In the left hand side we have AC square plus BD square. Now we'll consider triangle AXD and BYC. In triangle AXD and triangle BYC, actually both the triangles are congruent. We have angle AXD is equal to angle BYC. Both of them are 90 degrees. So angle AXD is equal to angle BYC, each 90 degrees. AD will be equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. Opposite sides of parallelogram. And the side AX and BY, both of them are equal. AX is equal to BY. And this is the distance between two parallel lines. Therefore, by RHS congruency, triangle AXD will be congruent to triangle BYC. Triangle AXD will be congruent to triangle BYC. So if AXD is congruent to BYC, we'll get DX is equal to CY. This implies DX is equal to CY by CPCT. So if DX and CY are equal, that means this minus 2 times CD into DX and 2 times DC into CY. This will be equal, because in place of DX we'll write CY. So from equation number 3, we'll get AC square plus BD square is equal to AD square plus CD square plus BC square plus CD square minus 2 times CD into DX plus 2 times DC into CY, and in place of CY I will write DX. So it will be DX. So this is minus of 2 times CD into dx, and this is plus 2 times dc into dx. So both of them will get cancelled out. So you will be left with AD square plus CD square plus BC square plus CD square. But we need AB square, BC square, CD square and DA square in the right hand side. So we have BC square, we have CD square, we have AD square. But we need AB square in place of this CD square. Since opposite sides of parallelogram are equal, therefore this side AB will be equal to CD. That means in place of one CD, I can write AB. So this will be AD square plus CD square plus BC square plus AB square. Opposite sides of parallelogram ABCD. So this will be equal, hence proved. So sum of the squares of the diagonals is equal to sum of the squares of the sides. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Question number 7. In figure 6.61, two chords AB and CD intersect each other at point P. So we are given that two chords AB and CD intersect at point P, and we need to prove that triangle APC is similar to triangle DPB. This is the first part, and the second part is AP multiplied by PB is equal to CP multiplied by DP. This we have to prove. Proof. So in triangle APC and triangle DPB, we have angle APC is equal to angle DPB because both of them are vertically opposite angle. So angle APC is equal to angle DPB as both of them are vertically opposite angles. Okay, and this angle A is equal to angle D because these are angles in same segment. Angles in same segment. This we have already studied in class 9th. So angle CAP is equal to angle BDP. These are angles in same segment. So by double A similarity, two angles are equal, therefore by double A similarity you will get triangle APC is similar to triangle DPB. And if these two triangles are similar, that means the side will be proportional. So I can write AP upon DP is equal to PC upon PB by CPST. Because if two triangles are similar, then the sides are proportional as they are corresponding parts of similar triangles. So when we cross multiply in this expression, we'll get AP multiplied by PB is equal to PC can be written as CP, and this DP will be multiplied with this expression. So it will be CP multiplied by DP. This is the second part. Hence proved. This is the second part, and this was the first part. Okay. Moving on to question number 8. In figure 6.62, two chords AB and CD of a circle intersect each other at point P when produced. So in the previous question, the point P was inside the circle. And in question number 8, point P is outside the circle. So point P is here outside the circle. We are given that chords AB and CD intersect each other at point P outside the circle. And we need to prove first part, triangle PAC is similar to triangle PDB, and second part, PA multiplied by PB is equal to PC multiplied by PD. So first of all, we'll prove that these two triangles are similar, and this expression, will get this expression by CPST. When we multiply the proportional sides, we'll get this. PA multiplied by PB will be PC times PD. So in order to prove these two triangles similar in triangle PAC and triangle PDB, So this angle is common in both the triangles. So angle APC is equal to angle DPB. This is common. We need one more angle to prove the two triangles similar. So if we assume this angle as 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So angle 1 and angle 2, the sum of these two angles will be 180 degree as they are forming linear pair. And angle 2 plus angle 3 will be again 180 degree, because ABDC is a cyclic quadrilateral and angle 2 and angle 3 are opposite angles of this quadrilateral, and opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral. So 1 plus 2 is also 180, 2 plus 3 is also 180. So you will get angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle 2 plus angle 3. Angle 2 and angle 2 will get cancelled out, so you will get angle 1 is equal to angle 3. So this angle 1 is now equal to angle 3. So if angle 1 is equal to angle 3, this was the first condition and now this is the second condition. Therefore by double A similarity, triangle PAC will be similar to triangle PDB. And if two triangles are similar, then the sides will be proportional. So you will get PA upon PD. PA upon PD will be equal to PC upon PB. PC upon PB by CPST. So when we cross multiply this, we'll get PA multiplied by PB is PC multiplied by PD. Hence proved. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Question number 9. In figure 6.63, D is a point on side BC of triangle ABC. So this point D is a point on BC such that BD upon CD is equal to AB upon AC. So we are given that BD upon CD is equal to AB upon AC. This we are given. And we have to prove that AD is the bisector of angle BAC. Actually, this is converse of question number 1, which we have done in this exercise. So we'll do the same construction as we have done in question number 1. We'll draw a line CM which is parallel to AD. So first of all, we are given triangle ABC. D is a point on BC. Also the ratio is given, that is BC upon CD is equal to AB upon AC. And we need to prove that AD bisects angle BAC, or I can say angle 1 is equal to angle 2. This I have to prove. So we'll do the construction first. So construction is draw CM parallel to AD, where M is a point on BA produced. जब BA को प्रोड्यूस करेंगे तो BA उसके ऊपर एक पॉइंट है M. Proof. So now we know that in triangle BMC, AD is parallel to MC. So in triangle BMC, AD is parallel to MC. So if AD is parallel to MC, therefore by basic proportionality theorem, what you will get is BD upon DC is equal to BA upon AM. This is equation number 1 by basic proportionality theorem. Okay, so BD upon DC is equal to BA upon AM. Also, we are given that BC upon CD, this BC upon CD is equal to AB upon AC. Also, BC upon CD is equal to AB upon AC. This is equation number 2. So when we compare these two equations, so from equation number 1 and equation number 2, both of them are equal to BD upon CD. This is also BC upon, no, here we are given that BD upon CD. This is BD. This is BD. So we are given that BD upon CD is equal to AB upon AC, and here also we have BD upon DC is equal to BA upon AM. So since both of them are equal to BD upon CD, so we'll get BA upon AM is equal to AB upon AC. So BA upon AM will be equal to AB upon AC. This BA and AB will get cancelled out. So you will get AM is equal to AC. Cross multiply or taking reciprocal, whichever way you can choose. So you will get AM is equal to AC. That is, this side AM is equal to this side AC. Mark this as angle number 4 and this as angle number 3. So in triangle AMC we have two sides equal. AM is equal to AC. So in triangle AMC we have AM is equal to AC. This we have proved just now. Proved above. So in a triangle, if two sides are equal, then the opposite two sides are equal, then the opposite angles will be equal. So the angle opposite to AM, which is angle number 3, and angle opposite to AC, which is angle number 4, will be equal. So you will get angle 3 is equal to angle 4. The reason is angles opposite to equal sides are equal. So now we have angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Also, this angle 1 is equal to angle 4. Since AD is parallel to MC, so angle 1 and angle 4 are forming a pair of corresponding angles. Also, angle 1 will be equal to angle 4. These are corresponding angles. And this angle 2 is equal to angle 3, as they are alternate interior angles. So we have angle 2 is equal to angle 3. These are alternate interior angles. So angle 3 is equal to angle 4, angle 1 is equal to angle 4, and also angle 2 is equal to angle 3. So 1 equal to 4, 4 equal to 3, and 3 equal to 2. So we can conclude that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 is equal to angle 3 is equal to angle 4, but we need only angle 1 and angle 2. So angle 1 will be equal to angle 2, which means if angle 1 is equal to angle 2, this means AD is the bisector of angle BAC. This implies AD bisects angle BAC. Hence proved. Okay. Moving on to the last question of the exercise. Nazima is fly fishing in a stream. The tip of her fishing rod is 1.8 meter above the surface of the water. So this is the tip of the fishing rod, which is 1.8 meter above the surface of the water. And the fly at the end of the string rests on the water 3.6 meter away and 2.4 meter from a point directly under the tip of the rod. So this point has a fly attached to it, and this fly is at a distance of 3.6 from Nazima. The horizontal distance of this fly is 3.6 meter from Nazima and 2.4 meter away from the point directly under the tip of the rod. So this point is the point which is directly under the tip of the rod. So this point and this point are at a distance of 2.4 meter. And now we have to find how much string does she have out. how much string is out? We have to find this distance. So mark this as point A, this is suppose point B, and this is point C. So this is the triangle ABC. Mark this. So this ABC. This is triangle ABC, which is right angled at B. So we have to find the length of AC first. So in a right triangle ABC, AB square plus BC square will be equal to AC square by Pythagoras theorem. So the value of AB, this is 1.8 square, plus BC, which is 2.4 square, is equal to AC square. So finding the square of 1.8 and 2.4 can be a time consuming task. So what we can do is we can take out common. So I can take out 0.6 square as common. So if I take out 0.6 square as common from 1.8 square, I'll be left with 3 square. Because 0.6 multiplied by 3 is 1.8. And 2.4 square is 4 square. This will be equal to AC square. So this is 0.6 square and 3 square plus 4 square. 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 9 plus 16 is 25 is equal to AC square. And 25 is 5 squared. So I can write it as 0.6 multiplied by 5 square is equal to AC square. Square and square will get cancelled out. So I'll be left with AC is equal to 0.6 multiplied by 5, which is 3. And the unit will be meter. So that means the string which is out is 3 meters. Okay. In the second part, it is written that if she pulls in the string at the rate of 5 centimeter per second. So now she starts rolling back the string. So if she rolls back at the rate of 5 centimeter per second, she is rolling 5 centimeter of string back to the rod at the rate of 5 centimeter per second. What will be the horizontal distance of the fly from her after 12 seconds? So if she is rolling in at the rate of 5 centimeter per second, she would have rolled the length of string rolled in 12 seconds. This will be 12 multiplied by 5, because she was rolling 5 centimeter in 1 second. So in total 12 seconds she would have rolled 12 multiplied by 5, which is 60 centimeter, or I can say 0.6 meter. She would have rolled this much of string. So if 3 meter of string was out and she has rolled 0.6 meter, so the string left out will be 3 minus 0.6, which is 2.4 meter. So now the string which is out is this. Suppose this point is D. This is 2.4 meter. Because if she starts rolling, this fly will move from C to point D, then to point B, and then from point B it will start lifting. So if 3 meter of string was initially out and she has rolled in 0.6 meter, so the length of string which is still out is 2.4 meter. Now you can find the length of BD using Pythagoras theorem. So in triangle ABD, AB square plus BD square, is equal to AD square. This is by Pythagoras theorem. Now the length of AB is 1.8 square plus BD, this we have to find. So this will be BD square is equal to AD square. The length of AD is 2.4. So this will be 2.4 square. So BD square will be 2.4 square minus 1.8 square. So again I can take out 0.6 square as common. I will be left with 4 square minus 3 square. So BD square will be 0.6 square times 4 square is 16, 16 minus 9 is 7 times 7. So BD will be 0.6 root 7. And the value of root 7, this approximate value of root 7 is, so I will write it as 0.6 0.6 multiplied by the value of root 7. Value of root 7 is 2.65. Approximately it is 2.65. So when I multiply 2.65 by 0.6, I'll get 1.59. So that means 1.59 meters. So this length BD is 1.59, or you can also say 1.6. So BD is 1.59, and from B till Nazima, horizontal distance is 1.2. And what I have to find is, what will be the horizontal distance of the fly from her. So I have to find the distance of D from Nazima. So it will be 1.59 plus 1.2. So horizontal distance of fly from Nazima will be 1.59 plus 1.2. So it will be 2.79 meter. This is the answer. Okay. So with this we have completed chapter 6 from NCERT. We'll start with next chapter in the next video. Thank you so much.